the Nissan S-chassis would have to be arguably one of the most modified Japanese cars ever made, and this one's a ripper. It's backyard built, 6-cylinder, let's check it out. I can see why you drive down here, Aaron.
I love it. This is my favorite place to be.
This S-chassis, I can't work out if it's performance, stance, what theme you got going on here. It's pretty cool.
I don't think I can work that out either. A lot of people, when they tend to build their cars, they go for the stancy look or the power in a straight line, and to me they both appealed, so I tried to do both. Yeah. So yeah, this is my S15 that's on air suspension, but it also has a GDR engine as well.
Yeah, oh, let's pop the bonnet, mate. Show me that.
Of course.
Hey, before you do, I noticed this actually is carbon, isn't it?
Yes, so this is probably one of my favorite things about the car. So we mixed up the paint, a base coat really light. We've actually thinned it down a lot. And yeah, we sprayed the carbon in the same color as the car. So from a distance, it looks like it is the same color as the car, but up close it is carbon fiber.
Up close you can see it's carbon. That's really cool.
So it wasn't originally planned, but I was quite happy with it in the end.
All right, mate, I'm dying to see what's under the bonnet.
Well, for all the SR20 fans out there, I'm gonna disappoint you because this has been swapped with a RB26. So this is an RB26 bottom end and head still. And it's actually a 26, not a 25, because you can notice I don't have VCT there. A lot of people like to put the 26 covers on and pretend they're 25 as a 26. This is out of a 33 GDR.
Oh, so you're saying it's not a poor man's?
Yeah, I wish it was for my bank account, but no, this is a genuine RB26.
It's still 2.6 capacity?
So this is still 2.6 litre. I have rebuilt the engine and forged it, and I chose to stay just with the 2.6 as that's all I needed.
And this looks like a new gen Garrett.
Yes, so this is running a Garrett G Series G35 900. So this has just been done about a couple of weeks ago. And I haven't really got that much driving in with it, but so far all I can say is the response on it is insane.
I was just about to say, that's probably a perfectly matched turbo for this car.
It is. So a lot of people, you speak to the RB owners or you see on forums, and a lot of people recommend a G35. At first I thought it was going to be too big. I don't know how they do it, but it is so responsive still despite the size. And I love it. I love the induction noise on it. I do have a T51R mod that I did to the front housing. Welcome to the sugarcane, the cane fields, far north Queensland. We got a really nice day today, the mountains in the background.
Who did you get the turbo through?
So I actually sourced it from my mate Hayden, who owns HD Automotive, and then I sent it down to Turbo Mods Pro and got the T51R mod done.
So how long have you had this car? I noticed at home you got a bit of a thing for S-chassis, mate.
So I'm definitely an S-chassis fanatic. I've owned the car for about 4 years now. I bought it completely stock. The only thing that was done to it was actually this head unit here that I've kept. Everything else I've done myself with the help of my mates and a few other people. It's been very expensive, but it's a really good process. I've learned so much, and now that I've got a few more cars, I can apply those skills onto my other cars.
You feel a bit more confident?
I do, and I feel like every car enthusiast goes through it. So I'm only running 22 pound at the moment. It's on 98 still, 500 horsepower, safe tune. And that's still enough to get rowdy in the rear end with my stancy tyre setup. So I've future-proofed it for when I decide that even more irresponsible with a 215 tyre on the rear.
215. The best thing you can do with an RB26 valve cover is not touch it. They look best in stock trim. Nothing against the billet ones, but it just, I don't know. I like the standard covers,
I see a lot of people go for the clear covers. They take the front off.
They take the front off.
They go billet, but I don't know. And I know that these, even the ornament plate here, it does put a bit of heat into the coil packs and the spark plugs, but I just love that look. The OEM is best. It really suits quite well, and it just gives it that iconic RB26 look that distinguishes it from the 25s.
She picks up alright, mate.
Yeah, it spins for a bit and then it really starts to roll a bit, more so in third.
Tell you what, that sounds better than any SR20.
Yes, yeah, I know there's a battle between SR20 owners and RB owners, but I'm sorry, I've owned both. I still own both. I have an SR20 in my S13, and
the RB, when done right, is a pretty nice setting.
You can't beat the RB. I'm sorry. I know what people say, but the RB for sound-wise, RB26. I think with the ITBs as well, it just gives it that different tone to the RB25 and the RB20.
I like your seats, dude.
Thank you.
Suit the car.
I am quite a fan. I am quite a fan, just to go match with the interior, with the gauges. It gives it that street, but also kind of track vibe to it.
Look, I reckon they look comfortable. They are comfortable. They're not too bad for a fixed seat. I didn't feel like I
was quite impressed.
Had to jump out of it. Yeah.
I was quite impressed with them as well. A lot of people complain about them and go, "Oh, you should get Recaros," but the rides have been more than I need. A lot more comfortable than the stock seat, and they give a lot more support.
A big bonus on this build for you is the fact it's got the later model 6-speed, is it the VQ series gearbox?
So the 350Z CD09 gearbox is what I've gone for. It's just a real strong gearbox. 6-speed as well makes it perfect for what I do cruising. This is a street car.
Is there much work to get this in the car? Are they a bit bigger, wider?
A lot of people I've noticed on forums will actually say don't bother with a CD09 because they're too big and you have to bash the tunnel and that. And honestly, when I put this in, it slipped straight in.
Yeah.
It was fouling just the tiniest bit, and I did massage that with a hammer just to give it some clearance when it has movement. But if you wanted to put this in with an RB, you'll be able to make it fit without touching it. It'll have the tiniest bit. So people that say that, I don't know, they probably haven't done the swap themselves. Because I know that there's a lot of other gearboxes that you can go with that require a lot more panel beating.
So this engine, is it just like a piston and rod type build, or?
So, funny story, when I got the conversion completed, I went to start it up and I didn't have any oil pressure, and I thought it was because it was just a fresh build that had a few leaks, that's what was causing it. But unfortunately, under further investigation, after all the effort of doing the conversion, the engine that I had bought, even though I was supplied with compression sheets and everything, was actually a dud.
Oh,
so as soon as I got the swap done, I took the engine straight back out again and I had to rebuild it. There was a bit of scoring in the bores and I was really worried that I wasn't going to be able to use it. Fortunately, I sent it to the machine shop, got it all honed, and it was savable to 86.5, so I was very happy with that. With myself and Mark Williams, a good mate that's helped me with this car, we rebuilt it, and yeah, threw a set of CP pistons in, spool rods. This has got a 33 GDR crank, so it doesn't have the issues that the 32 does. I've got a long nose crank for my oil pump.
Well, you just took me for a cruise around the coast there. Beautiful roads, drove perfectly, nice and responsive. It's a bit hard to mask the fact that this car's turbocharged.
We're very lucky where we live, so this is a perfect driver's car.
It is it's a good area to have this car.
It is. So the road that I took you on was pretty much what I had built this car for, is just a street car that I can take up in the afternoons or at night time along the coastal road. It's never a track car. I was never chasing numbers with it. I just wanted noise. I wanted it to handle well, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
So this car, I guess it's a bit of a blend between performance and stance. And one thing with stance cars, they're generally on airbags, yeah?
Yes, so this car is actually fitted on airbag suspension. A lot of people, for what the type of driving I do, ask me a lot, like, oh, you know, airbags, I've heard they handle terrible. you won't be able to drive corners anymore. And I've actually had like coilovers in this car, and I've had the airbags. And I'll be honest, I was under the impression when I put the airbags in that I was going to lose a lot of cornering and streetability, but I've been very impressed with them. They handle a lot better than a lot of people think. So coilovers, you won't beat coilovers in terms of handling and performance, but for what I do, airbags are perfect. They actually handle pretty well in the corners, as we can feel right now.
Considering how, well, your tyre setup's not exactly set up for cornering, it doesn't feel too bad.
So that's another thing too, going back to that stance and performance. I definitely am running a bit of a stretch tyre look because I like the look, but I also like having the performance as well. A lot of people they go performance or they go stance, it's no in between. But I don't know, I try to beat that stereotype. I try to have the stance because I love the look, and I know a lot of people don't, but personally I love that look. But I also love the performance side of things as well. So yes, I am running a 215 rear on a 9.5 with quite a bit of stretch, with 500 horsepower. That is pretty fun. And I still think this car handles pretty damn well.
It's better than I thought it would be.
A lot of people do say that as well. So the front is actually a 205.
Is that on a 9 or a 9.5?
So that is on a 9, and my rear is a 215 on a 9.5.
I think one of the most impressive aspects of your car, Aaron, is the paintwork and the fact you guys did it at home.
Yeah, so it was quite a lengthy process. I had my mate Jeremy Joyner help me. He's a panel beater, and for the span of about a year, we would sacrifice one day of our weekend to basically sanding. I learned a lot. That's why I wanted to do it myself, was to learn. And when people say prep is everything, they're right. Prep is everything. We spent about 8 months in sanding when we had one day each week doing the panels. I imported this body kit. This is a 326 power body kit. This came brand new from Japan. We were like fitting the kit, putting body filler on it to get like an OEM look, like just to get the look right. We were doing pinholes, fixing pinholes in the fiberglass that came brand new. Just a lot of things that I guess I would have overlooked, and like I said, I was so impressed with what Jeremy did. And yeah, I learned so much. Like even these mirrors here, these are a stock S15 mirror, and I've actually cut them out with a Dremel, and I put a Ford Focus RS sequential light in it. And then Jeremy had done the body filler to build it up to match the slits of the actual body kit. So it all ties in together. It took about a year to paint in, believe it or not, this is actually done in an inflatable spray booth. Not to sound cocky, but you wouldn't pick it.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with how it turned out. And
it's a lot harder to mask a darker color.
It is, yeah. It is. So I'm very happy with Jeremy's work. Like, he had his work cut out for him to do it in an inflatable booth.
No, it's come up fantastic, yeah.
We battled the weather towards the end. It was so close to being finished, and of course we came into the tropical wet season that we had. So we set the car up in the booth about 3 times, ready to paint, and unfortunately the booth leaked. I couldn't be happier with it. I really couldn't. Like, it has quite a glassy finish, and that was straight off the gun. And then after a couple of months, I let the paint cure. I got it ceramic coated by Eric at Luminous, and now I can't wait to paint my S13 myself. It was a long process, but I definitely think it was worthwhile in the end.
And you've got some footage of you guys painting it on you got your own YouTube channel, yeah?
Yeah, so I've started my own YouTube channel recently, and I filmed the whole paint process of pretty much start to finish. You can check that out on my channel. I did it in a 3-part series.
Yep.
And you can see what we had to deal with, like what we were working out of. It looked a lot rougher, and but it turned out, like I said, you wouldn't guess what we did it in, because I'm so happy with this finish.
Yeah, well done, mate, and thanks for showing us your, well, I was going to say backyard built Nissan, but it doesn't look like backyard built, mate. You've done a very good job.
Thank you, because I can assure you it is.
If you haven't seen our collection of 90s retro merch yet, what are you doing? We have many different styles on offer in both tees and hoodies, so grab one today. saying it doesn't flutter as much as the old TO4Z.
It doesn't flutter as much as it used to, and I'm very upset about that, but the response in this turbo is a lot more. The induction noise is pretty, but that flutter, and I'm a big flutter guy, I love it.
That's what the S-chassis was known for back in the day, wasn't
Exactly, especially the stock SR20, the T28, it used to flutter really nicely. It is equipped with a triple plate clutch that came with the gearbox when I bought it, and that was another thing that was quite hard to master on the street. Yeah, so a common thing to do up here is water meth, because obviously we don't have the E85, and to just keep your running temps down, I feel like the best GDR to buy would be an R35 GDR, because the bang for the buck, as long as you're 2008 plus, that thing will chop, like that'll beat so many cars. The interior is so nice, it's got all the traction controls, it's got a Bose sound system, and you're getting them for under 100 grand now. This is a stock S15 dash, and these are normally aircon vents, and I've actually got gauge surrounds in them. I think it's quite a good idea. Boosted International is the brand that makes the gauge holders around them, but this cluster here, I bought this brand new when I was still doing the conversion, because like the wheels, I wanted to buy the wheels. There was a set for sale that I nearly bought for 3.5 grand. They're my dream wheels, they're Blitzo 3s. So I wanted to buy the wheels, but I was midway through my engine conversion, and I thought, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'll wait until the car's finished, they'll be the cherry on top. And unfortunately for myself, by the time I finished the conversion, we had peak COVID prices going for everything, and the wheel had become pretty popular from some YouTubers like Adam LZ and TJ Hunt and that. So then they started going for about 10 grand for the same set of wheels. So this cluster, I didn't want the same thing to happen to me. I thought, oh, I hope that doesn't become the case. So I bought this cluster. You could still buy it brand new for $800, and literally a month after I bought it, they sold out and they don't make them anymore, and now they're going for about 3.5 grand. So I learned my lesson. And yeah, so I've got a brand new cluster. I put it in when I did the engine swap, when I rebuilt the engine. So I know that this engine has got 2,926 kilometers on it. So it was a perfect time for it. And now it's one of my favorite things now that it's kind of become like a little rarity to it. And I'm so glad that I bought it when I did. No, I didn't build this car for power figures, I built it for sound. I actually built it exactly for this. What we're doing right now, cruising on this exact road, making cool noises in an S-chassis. So this is what it's all about to me. This is what all of the blood, sweat and tears, I guess, is worth it, is exactly what we're doing now. It was cool for about the first 2 minutes, and now it gives me headaches.